This is my presentation for the 6 pieces that I will have in my portfolio. Most of the pieces that I have in this presentation are more illustrations, digital paintings, and 3D art. I believe that illustration is where my passion lies. This first piece that I have here is one that I did in Photoshop. We had to find a picture that we liked, and we had to recreate it in Photoshop. We had to draw it out with a pen tool and then add the colors, do the shading and the smoothing and the smudging, all of it, to make it look as close to the original as possible. This is my favorite piece. I worked really, really hard on this. It took me a long time to do. But I love the way this turned out. This was probably the piece that I enjoyed working on the most through all of my school career. This next piece that I have is a advertisement week that we had to do. We had to make it look retro, make it look old, vintage, I guess is the word that I need to use. But we had to advertise a modern piece of equipment. So this whole piece was put together, was drawn out basically except for the typography. And I drew the lady here. I did the laptop as well as the art or the leaves around the lady. We had to pick out the proper typography, and we had to come up with a slogan or an advertisement to be able to sell to someone in the 1800s. This is what one would look like if they had computers in the 1800s. I don't know. This was interesting. I really like this. I love the way it turned out. So that's my second piece. All right. This third piece is a book cover that I had to create. We picked out a book, we read it, and then we had to design a book cover for that story. So I picked out The Mysterious Stranger by Mark Twain. It was a really good story. So this was also done in Photoshop. All the line work was done with a pen tool. All this was digitally painted in Photoshop as well. I had to pick out the typography that would go well with the story. It was kind of a sinister story, but so we had to pick out the typography that would go with the backdrop. These next 2 pieces that I have that I'm fixing to show you are 3D, my 3D creations done in 3D Max. This first one was of a dining room type room. I added the textures. I had to do the lighting. Now the artwork that's on the wall is not original, but I did implement it in my piece. I like the way this turned out. This was fun. I like the look. It's clean. There was so much more I could have done with it, but in school you only have certain time restraints, certain amount of time to get everything done. And with all the assignments, this was what I came up with. Now, I could have spent many more hours on this and create all kinds of things. This was fun because you could create it from the ground up. This next piece was one that I did last year in 3D Max as well. This one is also my favorite. I love the look of this. It reminds me of fall, of course, with the leaves. It reminds me of my grandma's porch in the fall. She always had old items sitting out on the porch, vintage stuff. All this was drawn out. I'm trying to remember. There were a couple of pieces in here that were already inside of 3D Max. I think it was the teapot and the stairs, but the rest of it was done digitally by hand. This was another one of my favorite pieces, all of the way it turned out. Yeah, that's that one. And the next one, this one is also along the lines of the first 2 that I showed you. This is a piece that we had to recreate. We had to find a piece of art with geometric shapes, and we had to recreate it in Photoshop using the pen tool and recreate all the colors, make sure the colors matched. This, I love the way it turned out. This was fun. This was enjoyable. Uh, this was, it didn't take me as long as the other two pieces did, but I still like the way it turned out. But those are all 6 of my pieces. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Have a good one.